Hey Falcon fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Atlanta Falcons Today here on a Monday following, yet again, a disappointing Falcons loss. It was a very Falcon-type loss, too, as they blew a lead in the fourth quarter and have a chance to, ice the game, and then they weren't able to, and then you had some bad calls by the refs. Oh my gosh, this is rough. And you lose to a Washington football team. I think this is the frustrating thing, right? We come from a week where the Falcons offense couldn't do anything against the Giants, right? And yet they still had a nice fourth quarter and won the football game, and the game ball went to the defense because they played their heart out. 14 points to the Giants last week, fantastic, great, we move on. This week, the offense, 30 points against a pretty decent Washington football team defense. Now, they're not as good as we thought they would be, but they're still decent. But the defense gives up 34 points to Taylor Heinicke. It's like, goodness gracious. Can we get some consistency here? Like, just some consistent play, because you hate wasting a great Matt Ryan day. I think a great game plan by Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith had a really good day yesterday because the defense can't literally stop anybody. It's just... oh, man, it's rough. 1-3. 1-3 for Atlanta Falcons. We have been, the past couple of years here, the fourth game of the season, it feels like we're abandoning ship. It feels like the team is already DOA. It's just tough to watch. And pair that with the fact that the stadium was barely even half empty. No one is going to Falcon games right now. It is a rough time to be a Falcon fan. But there still were some, a few positives. We'll get into those coming up here, and also the negatives as well as we react to the Falcons. Again, 34-30 loss to the Washington football team. Pin comment down below. There'll be an ad break here. Scroll down, get your votes in. Grade the Falcons' Week 4 performance. Again, reply to the pin comment. I want to see where you're at on this grade. Offense to me was an A. Defense was an F. What's the middle there? A C+, a B-? I don't know. I want your thoughts down below right now. I'll start with the good. We have to give credit where credit is due. I like to be a fair host here on the channel, and I call people out when they're bad, and then when they're good, I don't want to just glance over and move on to the next thing. I want to be honest. The offense was firing on all cylinders. Arthur Smith had his best day as an offensive coordinator / head coach. Matt Ryan was fantastic. Everything worked right now. I thought the Atlanta Falcons offense did everything that we wanted them to. More targets for Ridley, more targets for Pitts, more targets for Corel Patterson. The offensive line protected very, very well. Overall, this was the perfect offensive game plan that could have gotten us all very pumped with the Falcons and gotten them to 2-2 had the defense figured things out. I'm fine with the play calling at the end of the game, too. Everyone wants to rip on the fact they ran the football 3 times or ran the football and then threw a screen with 3 minutes to go. I'm fine with that. I think your defense has got to get a stop. I would have liked them to push the ball down the field a little bit and go for the first down, but had they gotten a first down and running the football, then we all wouldn't be complaining about this today. So it still is a questionable series, but that doesn't take away from the fact that the offense scored 30 points. And anytime you score 30 points, your team should win the football game, but the defense was that bad that they obviously blew it big time. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel here before we get into Dean Pease and just the absolute horrific showing his defense had this past week. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow to 4,000 subs here on Atlanta Falcons Today. Plenty of more Falcon videos, news and rumors, mailbag, previews, everything coming up the next couple of days and weeks. If you like the Falcons, ride or die, whether they're, great or not, which they're not good right now, we appreciate you guys. So go down below, help us out, and subscribe. Okay, we got to give, we give credit where credit is due, and we call people out when they're wrong. Dean Pease's defense isn't working. It's just not working. Taylor Heinicke is not a quarterback that should throw 3 touchdowns, have a near perfect passer rating, and almost 300 yards. This defense was better than we thought it would. I think it has been decent over the past couple of weeks, but there are too many holes in the secondary and too many times where they have blown coverages. And Dean Pease went to the podium last week and called out one of the local sports radio stations, 92.9 The Game here in Atlanta, for saying that his, it was an ugly win. It didn't work out. He kind of tried to rip the host at 92.9, saying that they were, just call a win a win. Well, what's he going to say this week? Because the defense didn't have an ugly win. It was a horrific loss, and they gave up 34 points again to Taylor Heinicke. They've got to figure this thing out. I think Atlanta is very clearly going toward down a road to where they have to draft a cornerback in the first round next year. And we are going to want quarterback because we got to have an heir apparent to Matt Ryan, but the secondary is getting torched, and Terry McLaurin did it yet again. Pease has got to get these guys figured out. I think this defense might be a little too complicated for just how little talent you have back there on the backside of the secondary. It's just embarrassing to watch teams go up and down the field in critical moments against the Atlanta Falcons. The Bucs did it. The Eagles did it, and now the Washington football team has done it. 3 of the 4 games you played, your defense has gotten worse. Something's not working there with the formerly retired and aging defensive coordinator in Dean Pease. What's your panic level after this 1-3 start? Like we talked about this last week, panic level for a lot of people was about 5. It's starting to rise right now. We'll talk about the schedule a little bit later on, and it does even, ease up, and maybe you can go on a little run here. That would be nice, but the panic level for me is definitely low, I would say, or sorry, high. It's at like a 6 or a 7 right now. Give me your thoughts on the panic level in the comment section right now. what's going on with Calvin Ridley? Like, I didn't care what's going on with Calvin Ridley. It's my headline here. Like, he is still getting targets, and they threw the football to him 13 times. He's having some weird drops. Like, he's having a lot of weird drops, and he's just not playing at a number one wide receiver level that we saw him do the past couple of years, most notably last year when he played in 7 games without Julio Jones and played great. Like, there's no, to me, real argument here that, oh, well, Ridley doesn't have Julio Jones, hence why he's struggling. Like, no, he's getting open. He's either dropping passes or he's catching balls in those little underneath crossing routes, and for whatever reason, not going for a first down. Like, he seems a little bit scared out there. Like, he's trying to protect his body, which I get, but at the same time, lay out for your team and get a first down. I still like Ridley. I'm not going to panic on Ridley. I've talked about this the past couple of weeks, but he's not playing at a very high level right now, and Corel Patterson is very clearly the best player on this offense, and it shouldn't be the case. Like, Patterson should be a nice, gadget player, a nice 1-2 option out of the backfield and catching the football, as he was this past week. We'll talk about that, but Ridley's got to be the number one wide receiver, and he has just been MIA, honestly, the past couple of weeks. You dropped him in the first round in fantasy. I feel bad for you because he has been rough. Before we go ahead and keep going here, quick shout out to my friends at BetUS, a sponsor for the video, chatsports.com/BetFalcons, promo code Falcons125 to get that 125% deposit bonus. And betting on NFL games is what I do every single week. You don't have to give a lot of money down. I did like $10 a game. I did pretty good. I mean, most of my bets won. The only one that didn't win last week was I bet the Lions, or yesterday I bet the Lions would upset the Bears, and I was very wrong on that. So, but I think I made money this past weekend, so that's the fun of betting. Do it with our friends at BetUS. The Braves are getting started on Tuesday. The Hawks have a preseason game tonight, like plenty of Atlanta sports to bet on, and everyone but the Falcons are winning money right now, in my opinion. So jump on the betting game. Our friends at BetUS, chatsports.com/BetFalcons. Okay, we got to mention it because I have never been more wrong about Corel Patterson being a great player. He was fantastic yesterday. He's a dog. Like, he's an absolute beast out there and is a matchup nightmare. It's amazing it's taken so long for a team to finally figure out how to use Corel Patterson, but Arthur Smith has done that. I mean, the passing game, 3 catching touchdowns yesterday, and then he ran the football well too, and almost broke almost 2 kick returns. He has been really, really good, but the brightest spot on this offense. If Ridley and Kyle Pitts were playing to the level we expected them to, this entire offense would be scary, scary good, and yet even with Ridley and Pitts not necessarily doing much yesterday, a couple of catches there, a lot more targets, and a couple of drops, the offense still scored 30, and a lot of that was due to Corel Patterson. If you don't have him in your fantasy league, I feel bad for you because he has been absolutely balling out. All right, final thoughts here, and we mention this almost every single week because it still remains true even though they lost this game. They should be 2-2, yes, but the schedule is still easy, and I put a little LOL there because, again, we don't want to talk about this because, Falcons are losing to bad football teams, I know, but it still is easy, and we'll keep saying that. The Jets are not very good, even though they got their first win this past week. Atlanta should be able to win that one and go to 2-3. If they lose that game, then I'll stop talking about how easy the schedule is because it won't matter. You lost the Jets. If they beat the Jets, though, the Dolphins got worked yesterday by the Colts. Like, they are not a good football team. The Panthers got worked by the Dallas Cowboys. I think they might lose to Philadelphia this coming Sunday. They might be 3-2. By the way, we play our first divisional game. All right, it's our second divisional game. The Saints lost in overtime to the Giants. Like, I told you guys, the Saints are very hit and miss right now with I'm blanking on his name right now, with Jameis Winston. I mean, it is just not a very good football team. And then you play Dallas. Like, you have 4 straight games here against bad football teams. And so, again, you're sitting at 1-3, but with 4 games, you go 3-1 of the next 4 games. I mean, this team is going to suddenly be 4-4, 500 going into the Cowboy game. Like, I know we want to panic, and rightfully so, and a lot of people talking about, tanking or trading Matt Ryan or all that sort of drama. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They're not going to tank. They're not going to try and lose on purpose. And if they beat the Jets on Sunday, which is an early game, 9:30 kickoff Eastern time because they're playing in London, a home game against the Jets. They're at Wembley Stadium. That gets you to 2-3, and then you beat the Dolphins, who are very, very bad on the road. Then you go to 3-3. Like, they could very easily be sitting at 4-3 by the time they play the Cowboys, which put them at 4-4, which means they're still in contention for a playoff spot. And so for as long as I have said the schedule is easy, I will keep saying it. If they lose to the Jets, though, I'll stop because obviously lose to the Jets, then doesn't matter how easy your schedule is because you're just going to keep losing games. Now, the good news yesterday is that a lot of teams lost. Tampa won, which stinks because they almost lost. You got to make a field goal there, Patriots. But the Panthers lost, which is another drop down to 3-1, and the Saints lost yesterday as they, of course, come back down to earth in a very cold game by Jameis Winston. So the NFC South does not necessarily seem to be as wide open as we had hoped, but at the same time, I think Atlanta can get back on track with hopefully some wins coming up here over the next couple of weeks. But I said that last week, lost to the Washington football team, so, oh man, what are you going to do? It's just being an Atlanta Falcon fan. It's tough. It's very, very tough. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel because even though it is tough to be a Falcon fan, that's what we all do. We come together and we are one here on Atlanta Falcons Today. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Again, make sure you guys are subscribed down below. Plenty more great videos and coverage coming up over the next couple of days and weeks. I am your host, Thomas Mott, as we go ahead and sign off. There'll be a mailbag video later on this week. There'll be a preview video for the for the Jet game coming up later this week. I do some rumor video, like plenty of more content here. That's my whole goal, is to give you guys a one-stop shop into everything regarding the Atlanta Falcons. So if you like the channel, go down below and subscribe. Again, for Atlanta Falcons Today, all time we have for today, I am your host, Thomas Mott, as we go ahead and sign off. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.